The village of Greenfield was a peaceful place, small houses, dusty roads, laughing children, and the sound of birds every morning. People here believed that nothing bad could ever happen to them. Life was simple. Life was safe. Or at least, that's what we thought. My name is Daniel Carter. I was only 25 years old when the sky fell on us. That morning started like any other. I was helping my mother in the garden. She was planting flowers near the door, white roses, her favorite. Daniel, she said softly, never forget. No matter how strong you become, a mother's prayer is stronger. I smiled. Mom, you always say that. She looked at me with serious eyes. Because one day, you will need it. I didn't know then. That day had already arrived. At exactly 11:47 a.m. The birds stopped singing. The air became heavy. The sky slowly turned dark, even though it was not evening. People stepped out of their houses, confused. Then we heard it, a deep, thunder-like sound, but louder than any storm. My little brother Ethan ran to me. Daniel, what is that noise? Before I could answer, the clouds split open. From the sky came giant flying machines, shining like metal and fire at the same time. They were not planes. They were not helicopters. They were alien ships. People screamed. Some ran, some froze in fear. And then, the invasion began. The alien ships hovered above the village. Strange lights fell from the sky, touching the ground like burning rain. Houses started breaking. Roads cracked. Trees fell. But worse than destruction was the fear. Creatures stepped out of the ships. Tall, dark, their eyes glowing like red fire. They didn't speak our language. They didn't show mercy. They came to destroy. Captain Noah Reed tried to organize people. Everyone, get inside your homes. Protect your families. But it was chaos. I grabbed my mother's hand. Mom, we need to run. She shook her head. No, we will not run forever. I didn't understand her words then. That evening, our village was half destroyed. People were hiding in basements, barns, and old shelters. Fear was everywhere. Children cried silently. Mothers hugged them tight. In our small house, my mother lit a candle. She stood in front of me, holding my face in her hands. Daniel, she said, her voice strong but full of emotion. These creatures are destroying our home. If everyone runs, who will protect the innocent? Mom, I'm not a soldier, I replied. I'm just a village boy. She looked into my eyes. You are not just a boy. You are my son, and I raised you to be brave. Tears filled her eyes. I give you my due, my prayer. God will protect you. Now go, stand for your people. That was the moment. I stopped being afraid. The next morning, I went to Captain Noah. I want to help, I said. He looked at me from head to toe. You're young, but I'm not weak, I replied. Soon, a small group of brave villagers joined me. We had no advanced weapons, only courage, old rifles, tools, and one powerful thing, hope. Before I left, my mother hugged me. She whispered into my ear, may God place fear in the hearts of your enemies, and strength in yours. Those words became my armor. Near the old bridge, we saw them again. 3 alien warriors stood there, destroying everything in their path. My heart was beating like thunder. My hands were shaking. But then I remembered my mother's face, her tears, her faith. I stepped forward. For Greenfield, I whispered. The fight was not easy, but bravery is stronger than fear. And that day, for the first time, humans fought back. The night after our first battle was the longest night of my life. The village of Greenfield was silent, not the peaceful silence we once knew, but a heavy, fearful one. Fires were still burning in the distance. The sky looked dark. Even though stars were shining above us, we had fought back, but the war was far from over. I sat near the old barn with Captain Noah, Sarah, and a few brave villagers. Everyone looked tired, but something had changed. For the first time since the invasion, people were not only afraid, they were also hopeful. Just before sunrise, the ground started shaking again, but this time it was different. A single, massive alien ship descended slowly from the clouds. It was bigger than all the others, dark silver, covered in strange symbols. From it stepped a figure taller than any alien we had seen before. Captain Noah whispered, that must be their leader. The villagers hid behind broken walls and trees. Fear returned to their eyes. But I stepped forward, not because I was fearless, but because I remembered my mother's words, if everyone runs, who will protect the innocent? Before going to the battlefield, I went home. My mother was sitting near the window, holding her prayer beads. She looked at me and smiled softly. I knew you would come back, she said. I knelt beside her. Mom, I don't know if I can keep fighting. They are too strong. She placed her hand on my head. Strength does not only come from muscles, my son. It comes from faith, from love, and from standing for what is right. She closed her eyes and prayed quietly. I didn't hear the words clearly, but I felt something inside me change. I stood up feeling stronger, not in body, but in heart. The alien leader moved toward River Hill, the highest point near the village. From there, they could destroy everything. We couldn't let that happen. Captain Noah gathered us. Today, we don't fight just for Greenfield. We fight for every family, every child, every mother. We moved carefully through the broken streets. When we reached the hill, the alien leader turned toward us. Its glowing eyes stared straight at me. It raised its arm, and the smaller aliens prepared to attack. My heart beat fast, but I didn't step back. For my village, I said. For my mother. And the fight began. The aliens were strong, but we were united. Villagers who had once been farmers, teachers, and shopkeepers now stood together like soldiers. Sarah helped injured people behind us. Captain Noah led the front line, and I stood in the center, not as a hero, but as a son fulfilling his mother's wish. At one moment, I slipped and almost fell. The alien leader walked toward me. Fear tried to enter my heart, but then I heard my mother's voice in my mind. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. I stood up again, and the villagers followed me. Something unexpected happened. When we refused to run, the aliens hesitated. They had never faced people who fought not with hatred, but with love for their homes. Using teamwork and courage, we pushed them back. The alien leader stepped away, not defeated but surprised. That day, Greenfield did not fall. That day, hope was born. That evening, I returned home. My mother hugged me tightly. I was afraid, she said softly, but I trusted my prayer more than my fear. I held her hands. Your dua saved me today. She smiled with tears in her eyes. No, my son, your courage saved us all. Outside, the village was still broken, but inside our hearts, something powerful was growing. The belief that we could win. The morning sun rose over Greenfield, but it did not bring peace. It only showed us the damage: broken houses, burned fields, silent streets. Our village was still standing, but barely breathing. Yet something had changed inside the people. They were no longer just victims. They were survivors, and survivors learned to fight back. That afternoon, something strange happened. All the alien ships suddenly stopped attacking. They hovered high in the sky, forming a circle above the village. Then, from the clouds, a deep echoing sound came. Not a voice, not a roar, but something in between. It felt like the sky itself was speaking. Captain Noah looked up and said, "They're planning something." He was right. Later that day, Sarah came running to us. She had found something near the old radio tower, a strange alien device that had fallen during the last battle. It was still glowing. We didn't understand their language, but the symbols showed pictures. Villages burning, people running, and in the center, a huge machine draining light from the land. Captain Noah's face turned pale. "They're not just destroying us," he said quietly. "They want to take our world's energy and leave nothing behind." This was not just an attack on Greenfield. It was a plan to wipe us out completely. That night, I sat with my mother outside our house. The stars were shining, but fear was hiding behind them. She looked at the sky and said softly, "Daniel, sometimes evil comes to test good hearts." I looked at her. "Mom, what if we fail?" She took my hand. "Then we fail while doing the right thing, and that is never a true failure." Her words stayed in my heart. The next morning, Captain Noah called everyone together. Men, women, even young people who were old enough to understand the danger. "We cannot wait anymore," he said. "If we wait, they will destroy us. If we stand, we have a chance." People looked at each other. Fear was still there, but so was determination. I stepped forward. "I'm ready," I said, "not because I'm fearless, but because my mother taught me that courage is choosing hope over fear." One by one, others stepped forward too. That was the moment Greenfield became more than a village. It became a family. From the alien device, we understood one more thing. Their main machine, the one that would drain our world, was being built on the Hill of Light, a place just beyond the forest. It was dangerous to go there, but it was more dangerous to stay back. So we prepared not with advanced weapons, but with unity, faith, and the belief that we were fighting for something greater than ourselves. Before leaving, my mother stood in front of me. She placed her hands on my shoulders and prayed quietly. Then she said, "Go, my son," not as a warrior of anger, but as a warrior of love. As we walked toward the Hill of Light, the forest felt silent, too silent. Every step felt heavy. Some people wanted to turn back, some wanted to cry. I felt fear too, but I remembered my mother's face, her calm, her faith, and I kept walking. Because sometimes, one brave step can change the future. Before we reached the hill, I stopped for a moment and looked back at the village. I whispered to myself, "I will not let fear decide our fate. I will not let darkness win. For my people, for my home, for my mother, and for every child who deserved a future without fear." The Hill of Light stood quietly in front of us. From far away, it looked peaceful, but as we came closer, we saw the truth. Huge alien machines were being built on the hill. Strange lights moved through the air. The ground felt warm under our feet, as if the earth itself was afraid. This was it, the place where the future of our village, maybe the whole world, would be decided. Captain Noah raised his hand, signaling everyone to stop. We hid behind rocks and trees, watching the aliens work. They moved without emotion, without mercy. Some of our people were shaking. Sarah whispered, "I'm scared, but I won't run." I looked at her and nodded. That's what bravery really is. Inside my heart, fear and courage were fighting, but then I remembered my mother's words. Go as a warrior of love. Before we attacked, I closed my eyes for a moment. I imagined my mother standing at our door, praying for me. I could almost hear her voice. Daniel, no matter what happens, never forget who you are. That memory became my strength. Captain Noah whispered. Now we moved forward together, not with anger, not with hate, but with the courage of people protecting their home. The aliens noticed us. Their leader stepped forward, the same tall figure we had seen before. Its eyes glowed like distant stars. For a moment, everything became quiet. Then the struggle began. The aliens were strong, but we were united. Every time someone felt afraid, another person stood beside them. Every time someone fell, another helped them rise. I faced the alien leader again. It raised its arm, and a strange energy filled the air. My legs wanted to move back, but my heart said, stand. I took one step forward, then another, and in that moment, I understood something. True bravery is not about defeating an enemy. It is about refusing to give up hope. As the fight continued, something amazing happened. The alien machines started to slow down. Their lights flickered. Captain Noah shouted, "It's working. They're losing power." We realized the truth. The aliens were strong, but they were not prepared for human courage, not prepared for people who fought with faith and love. Suddenly, one of the machines began to glow brighter than the others. Sarah cried out, "That one. It's the main control. If it stayed active, the invasion would continue. If it stopped, everything could change." I looked at Captain Noah. He looked at me. We both understood. Someone had to go closer. I started moving toward the machine. Captain Noah grabbed my arm. "Daniel, it's too dangerous." I smiled softly. My mother didn't raise me to turn away when others need me. I walked forward, every step heavy with fear, but stronger with purpose. Inside my heart, I whispered, "Mom, your dua is with me. I know it." As I reached the machine, a bright light surrounded me. For a moment, I felt small, but then I remembered all the faces of my village, all the children who deserved a peaceful future. I raised my head, and in that moment, courage became stronger than fear. The bright light around the alien machine grew stronger. Everyone watched in silence. Some prayed, some cried, some whispered my name. And in that moment, I felt my mother's presence more than ever before. Not beside me in body, but beside me in spirit. As I stood near the glowing machine, fear tried to return, but then I remembered something my mother once said when I was a child. "Daniel, when you feel alone, remember, you are never alone if my prayer is with you." I closed my eyes. I didn't see the aliens. I didn't see the machines. I saw my mother sitting in our small home, hands raised, praying for her son, and suddenly, I felt strong. Not strong like a soldier, strong like a son loved by his mother. I reached toward the control panel of the alien machine. The alien leader shouted in its strange language. The other aliens stopped moving. They were afraid, not of me, but of what I represented. A human heart filled with courage and faith. With one final effort, I pushed forward, and then, the light went out. For a few seconds, nothing happened. The world held its breath. Then slowly, the alien ships in the sky began to rise. Not in attack, not in anger, but in retreat. One by one, they disappeared into the clouds. The invasion was over. The hill of light became quiet again. People looked at each other in disbelief. Then someone shouted, "They're leaving." Tears fell. Hands were raised to the sky. Some laughed through their crying. Captain Noah came toward me and placed his hand on my shoulder. "You didn't just save Greenfield," he said. "You gave us back our future." But I shook my head no. My mother did. I walked back to the village. My legs were tired. My heart was full when I reached our house. My mother was standing at the door, as if she already knew. She opened her arms. I ran to her like a child again. She held me tightly and whispered, "Alhamdulillah, my prayer reached you." Tears filled my eyes. "Mom, your dua saved us all." She smiled gently. "No, my son, your courage answered my prayer." Days passed. The village slowly began to rebuild. Children laughed again. Birds returned to the trees. Hope returned to our hearts. People no longer remembered me as just Daniel. They remembered me as the son who stood up when the world was afraid. But in my heart, I remained only one thing, a son blessed by his mother's prayer. Today, when people ask me, "How did you defeat the aliens?" I don't talk about machines. I don't talk about battles. I simply say, a mother's dua and a son's bravery. You can defeat even the darkness from the sky. And so the story of Greenfield became a legend, not of war, not of fear, but of love. A love so strong that even the sky itself could not defeat it.